Hi Virgo, here is a general look at your solar chart for August 2016, and if you're having a birthday later on this month, may I wish you a happy birthday. Now, I'm still focusing on Saturn, the Saturn-Neptune transit that I spoke about last month, and I did a separate video on it as well. This thing that's going on here, Saturn is at the root of your chart. And that means it's an important transit for you Virgos. This is a time for you to change or build upon aspects of the roots of your life, whether that's to do with location, place on the map, whether that's to do with family. Something begun 7 or 8 or 14 or 15 years ago, around about that time, now is this regular cyclical visit of Saturn stress testing things, and you have to now take responsibility for dust swept under the carpet, maybe from the past. Also, you can take it back further, you can say 28, 29 years ago as well. You may have to put more into family relationships or neighborhood relationships, and you could feel that there's a lack, you could feel that there's things that that you don't like and they're not right, anything you've just been papering over the cracks or tolerating regarding family, neighborhood, property, or just place on the map, or indeed in your past, then this will be the time to do something about it. Now, this is likely to start accelerating because we're going to get Mars coming in there from the 3rd. So you could actually cover some ground, because the thing about Saturn is it tends to be very, very slow. She tends to be patient and thorough and slow. Now, we have Neptune in your opposite sign, so Saturn and Neptune are very, very close by a degree at the moment, so we have to take this into consideration and calculate how this might be panning out. So with Neptune in your opposite sign, you can be leaned on more by others. You can feel yourself to be the prop that others are relying on. If there's something about that you don't like, then you need to be more boundaried in your approach. Basically, you know, you have a life as well. On the other hand, you may feel as though it is a duty or a desire to put aside personal plans or personal preferences on behalf of a greater cause that you consider to be, you know, a greater cause. So stronger boundaries will be needed at times if you choose to go that way, but also you could put somebody on a pedestal. You could also, you know, just chuck somebody away, because in both instances you've got a distorted view of someone. Now, with Saturn and Neptune coming together, it means that the dynamics of the interchange between you and another could be changing. Either way, you may have been misjudging or deluding yourself about them or their situation, or maybe it is to do with the neighborhood or the community. Now that these two are in close proximity, then you get more real about what the vibration is really, what's really going down. You get a more defined kind of view of things, and then you figure out how to balance how you wished things would be with how they really are, and what can be done with that. Another thing that can happen with this is actually somebody that you've never met before, when you do meet them, you get an immediate connection with them. You feel on a soul level a real strong familiarity with that person, and with any luck they might feel it too, but it's not guaranteed. So for you Virgos, born 1st to the 3rd of September, or with Virgo rising 9 to 11 degrees rising, you're going to feel that energy the most this month. But of course, if you have a planet or a sensitive point near those degrees, you will be feeling that as well. And Virgos born the 13th to the 21st of September with 21 to 29 degrees rising are going to be feeling Jupiter the most this month, because Jupiter has been in your sign. But more on Jupiter in a minute, or in a moment, because I just want to mention where everything else is. So we've got the Sun as the month kicks off in quite a quiet background, introspective sort of area. And this is where you have to put your own wishes aside sometimes in order to be there as a support or a facilitator, or to bring service to others. But Mercury is in your sign, so you're very busy, I think, as well. Maybe with connections with people, paperwork possibly, moving about, learning, gathering information, disseminating information. So it looks like there's a busyness going on there. Could also be that communications equipment is on your mind, whether that's vehicles or computers or phones or cameras or whatever, and you could feel a bit scattered. You could definitely feel a bit scattered. Mercury is going retrograde in the very last 2 days of the month, so more on that next month. And just be aware that mental processes are speeding up now. Until the 6th, though, Venus is in the background area along with the Sun. And that means that you don't know how you really feel about, you may be humming and hawing about your feelings over somebody or something. But it's great for imagination. It's great for connecting with the angels and the guides and the expanded loving awareness that is behind everything that goes on in this very, very polarized, dualistic, and really quite aggressive dimension that we live in. Then we get Venus moving out of there and into your sign, supporting a more gregarious, sociable mood. Then you really have getting more of an appetite for reaching out with heart and with genuine interest into the lives of others. But there's still this spiritual kind of thing going on in the background, this healing thing going on in the background. Or if it's not like that, it's simply that in the background there is this reluctance really to sort of come out and play, or there is, if it's not like that, then there is this strong urge to be of service, the higher calling, I am on a mission, that kind of thing. It could be like that. And it might be that somebody is on a mission to help you as well. Whether you want that or not is another issue, but it could be like that. Now, with Venus in your sign, this is lovely to have Venus in your sign, very gregarious. You should be doing a makeover at this time, getting yourself something nice, somebody getting you something nice, especially if your birthday is the time, during the time that Venus is in your sign, which it very well could be. It goes on until about halfway through, no, it goes on until just the very beginning of September. So it might not be, but you early Virgos will be feeling it and reaching out to connect with others more, and definitely doing some retail therapy. But be careful, because you might be freer about putting your hand in your pocket and splashing, money around, or resources around, or favors around, or whatever it is that assets that you have. But something nice could be coming in your direction anyway with Venus. Good for getting a good deal, or negotiating something, maybe renting, buying, selling, leasing. And also it could be good for teaming up with someone and enjoying the fruits of your labors together, or teaming up with someone that can help you do better as far as finances or property is concerned, and possessions of various kinds as well. And then we have Mars at the root of your chart, as I mentioned earlier. This will be about a 6-week transit, so going on well into September, and this means that you could be busy than usual at HQ, or to do with family matters, because of a property or a place on the map, or a neighborhood or a community. And physical effort at times will be needed, because Mars being a very, very physical sign. So things going on right in your own backyard, metaphorically speaking, and you needing to be decisive and maybe quite assertive to follow up on decisions. and you could be somewhere other than your own stamping ground. It could be around property, it could be around location, but it might not be where you're used to being. So a lot of activity in some kind of base of operations. The sun moves on the 23rd, begins a powerful time for you with the sun in your sign, and that's from the 23rd onwards, and you taking stock, thinking about the dance of life over the past year, and thinking about the future, and giving more time to yourself, being more self-centered, very, very much so. Now, Jupiter, as I say, is in your sign and is there until the 9th of September, and then goes into an area to do with finances and property for about a year. Well, it will be a year, and that is probably no bad thing. That is probably a good thing. So at the moment, many of you will have expanded into new areas. This has been time for a huge growth spurt, quite a learning curve for you guys. And you could have been taking off in several new directions, or sampling taking off in several new directions, but probably settled on one and then did that. But there's still a little way to go, especially for you very late Virgos. You could be in this now and you're discovering much which is very different and unfamiliar to you. This is par for the course. This is absolutely textbook for Jupiter when Jupiter comes back into our sun sign after 12 years absence. So you will be learning about different slants on things, different ways of seeing things, different lifestyle, different conditions, different jargons, different cultures, whatever it was, different subjects that you are getting educated in. Great time for training and education, whether you are the teacher or the student. I find whenever I do teaching, it's a bit of both, really. So just try to avoid trusting to luck or overlooking the details, though. This is the thing with Jupiter. Jupiter's pretty weak on details, but wonderful with the broad canvas and the overview. Now, you Virgos born the 13th to the 21st of September, or with 21 to 29 degrees rising. I gave you that already. I'm just giving you it again for good measure. And Virgos born 1st to the 4th of September, or with 9 to 12 degrees rising, going to feel Neptune the most at the moment. But of course, as I'm always saying, it does go across the sign, but in lessening degrees. And that's it for, no it isn't, because I want to tell you about Mars. Mars and the Sun. Mars and the Sun going across Saturn. I can't remember why I told you this. Anyway, it won't do any harm. 21st to the 26th, and then so that slows things down a bit. So maybe try not to schedule anything really important then, if you can possibly help it, but it could still be successful even within the transit. In fact, some people would thrive on this. And also Mercury on the 5th to the 6th, more on your mind, more on your shoulders, and maybe more paperwork, and Venus, Saturn on Venus the 12th to the 13th, particularly there. So again, you're having to watch your P's and Q's, you're having to watch the way you behave with certain others in certain relationships, or somebody being awkward or not being warm and friendly, not playing ball, really. So you can feel a bit like that as well. But then that really is the end, and so if you listen to your rising sign or your moon sign, that would be a good idea. And also, if you want to read some material, I'm hoping it will be okay, and it will be up on my website for you to read, DianaGarland.com. And I'll see you the next time.